What's up? It's your man, Marv Glover.
And the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis.
And welcome to the Hold My Nuggets podcast here where we talk 50% sports, 50% real shit, 100% of the time. And if you don't like that, you can hold my nuggets.
Suck my dick!
Welcome to episode number 13.
13.
We here, we live, we ready. How are you, my brother?
I'm magnificent. You know who's not feeling good? Yourself. Why? Because you gotta use the bathroom and you ain't go. Let me tell you something. Marv Glover has had to take a shit for some time. The man stepped into the studio. He been farting up a storm. We need to get this place fumigated, all right?
I didn't even
get it quarantined, okay? It smelled like mustache butt. I don't know what's happening right now.
You was holding that one.
No, I was not holding nothing. You know what you holding in right now, all right? Man got a football inside of his anus. All I know is it's stinking here, and Marv Glover is the culprit. But I am doing magnificent.
I didn't know. I thought I was going to be the one to let the people know.
I thought I was going to be the one to let the people know. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I can't shit in public, so it's sitting.
You can't shit in public. What is that? Some sort of insecurity? What's going on?
I don't know. It's just weird. Like I feel I can't do it outside because I shit naked. I shit naked.
Oh, you're one of the George Costanza people.
I don't know what that is, but I shit naked.
You don't know what George Costanza is? You uncultured swine.
Is he Seinfeld?
Yes.
Oh, he has to shit naked too?
Yeah, he gets completely naked.
I have to get completely naked to shit.
So why can't you do that in a public area?
Because now, like, we at Gotham right now. So it's like if I strip completely naked, first of all, I can't put my clothes on the floor.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't. No,
I mean, you can. You don't want to.
I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, Gotham. I don't know what's been going on the floor.
I mean, do you not have detergent? You never heard of OxyClean?
I'm not going to OxyClean their floor for them.
Huh? No, not here. I mean, your own clothes.
No. But I have to put them back on to come do the podcast. Do I not?
I mean, hey, that's your prerogative.
No, it's not a matter of prerogative.
Well, if nobody ever did the podcast naked, perhaps this can be the first time.
I don't know. I think that would be very uncomfortable for you.
For me? Yeah. Oh, no, I wouldn't care. Yeah. My eyes would be solely up. I wouldn't have to worry about nothing.
No, I think it would throw you off just because, you know my physique. You know
your physique what?
You know what I'm saying? My athletic physique.
Nah, because you got a flying type bird chest.
What you trying to say? What do you mean?
You don't work out, Chief.
I do work out. I feel like
besides the fact that your areola look like 22-inch doves, hilarious. But outside of that,
I'm a pretty fit dude. But outside of that, no.
Fit where?
I'm an athletic dude. Why
you ain't been to the gym, Chief?
Bro, don't let me pull up my Clemont tape. Don't let me pull up my church basketball league tape.
You know what's funny is because you can't pull it up because I have it.
Pull it up.
How you going?
One day we might fuck around and edit it into this video. We just might.
Why do that if we could just go to the park?
What you mean? What happened?
Nah, we can just go to the park. Matter of fact, we live on IG right now. We're going to put out a poll tomorrow. Who want to see me play this man in the park one-on-one? We will go live the next day.
I haven't played in so long.
It don't matter. Neither have I.
No, but I'm
Why I'm a newbie to the game. Basketball? What is that?
We went from talking about me shitting naked to you challenging me one-on-one in the game of basketball.
Yeah, because now I'm going to beat you so bad, you're going to feel as if you naked taking a shit.
On myself. That was
absolutely.
I like how you brought it full circle.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do, but I'm a terrible comedian.
Hilarious. Well, no, we here, we live, we ready.
Yeah,
man.
we are. You know episode 13.
We made it.
Yeah, man. You know what 13 mean? It's not Friday though.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what this lucky number isn't no.
It's 7. A very lucky number.
I thought 7 was a lucky number.
No, 7 and 13 are both lucky numbers.
Gotcha.
Apparently, from what I've been told.
Okay.
Now, if you add 7 and 13 together, what you get?
You get 20.
You get 20.
Right.
This episode what?
13.
Now add 20 to 13. What is that? 33. Now, 33, that just happened to be the same age Jesus was when he died, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, 33, if you add in a Kardashian, what's the name of their store? Dash. Now, if you put that dash in between the 13, my brothers and sisters, well, I should say in between the 33, what does that get? A 3-3. And that's the record of them Dallas Cowboys.
I feel like that's retribution for the Dwayne Wade thing. Yours is better than mine.
What?
All right.
Of course it was, because mine off the top. I don't come over here with nothing prepared. You got notes with stuff written on them. I only got the questions that we got.
You do.
All right?
You do. Okay.
Raw, uncut.
We got to bring it a little low.
Yeah, I brought a little bit low. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how about them boys, huh? How about them boys? What happened to Deck Attack? We got a big Deck. We got a big Zeke. Amari Cooper. Van Der Esch.
Well, I mean, we didn't have Amari Cooper, but go ahead.
Oh yeah. All of them. Garbage. Yeah. Look like basura out there. To lose to what? The 0-4 Jets? The Jets? The Jets? Sam Darnold had mono.
Yeah,
He was playing spin
AIDS.
the bottle.
Baby AIDS. He had baby AIDS.
His spleen was the size of the unchiseled Adonis.
Wow.
And came out and did what?
It's pretty big. He
rubbed his nutsack all over the Dallas defense.
He had a day.
Robbie Anderson was in the end zone.
Yeah.
92-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
What happened?
It was a rough day. First of all this negative energy that you're bringing to the podcast right now is unnecessary. I've treated you with nothing but respect when your team was losing. You understand what I'm saying?
sorry?
I treated you with nothing but love and respect when your team was losing. And for you to come at me like this.
Really?
Do you understand what I'm saying? I made a couple jokes here and there. You know what I'm saying? A little light remarks, but I never, not like this. The whole Kardashian Jesus. You brought Jesus into it. That's how you know you're being disrespectful at this point. Don't bring our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ into this. Now, I was uncalled for. As for what happened to my Cowboys, man, listen. First and foremost, to all the people talking smack and shit on the internet, I hate when your team lose. Like, I seen the game. Don't DM me and talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen it. I don't need how about them Cowboys. And it's your fault. You started this. Because all your little fans and shit, they like to troll me under my comments. Keep all that shit.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, it was me who started it.
No, it's you. It's your fault. I'm a little upset now. I try to be cool. I try to be professional. You understand? I try to stay to myself. I didn't even want to start with the Cowboys, but I knew we was going to bring it up. Everybody in there. I literally saw people in the comments like, make sure, people would comment to you, make sure you destroy Marv Glover about it. Make sure you talk about the Cowboys. All this other bullshit. All right, so we want to talk about the Cowboys. Let's talk about the Cowboys. We lost. Huh? Is that what you want to hear? 24-22. We lost. We did. We lost to an 0-4 team. A team that we should have won. All right, a guy who had baby AIDS, mono. Sam Darnold came in and is that him spanking us or spreading butter?
No,
it looked like he was spreading butter.
He was spreading butter, and then he was slapping the bread together, and then he ate that defense.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, it was okay. Well, no, here's the deal: we lost. All right, let's get into it. Offensively, let's just start off with the fact that we were limited. I don't want to sit here. Wait. I'm sorry. Can I speak? I'm sorry. Can I speak? I'm not making excuses.
Go right ahead.
I'm not making excuses.
Why? I didn't say anything.
I'm just stating the facts.
Feel free.
I am just stating the facts. We came into the game, no left tackle, no starting left tackle in a Tyron Smith, no starting right tackle, and a La'el Collins. I'm sorry, but you lose one Pro Bowler in a Tyron Smith and a star right tackle and a La'el Collins. That's gonna affect your game. All right. Then on top of that, we lost Coop early on in the game. I think he has like a thigh bruise or something like that, whatever the case may be. We didn't have Randall Cobb. He's our slot guy, right? Upgrade from what's son's name? Cole Beasley. We didn't have him. Right? And then on top of that, it showed. It showed. I mean, on the day, Dak Prescott, 28 for 40, 277 yards, right? 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He had 1 rushing touchdown. Michael Jordan. Okay, cool. He had that, right? Zeke showed up. Zeke showed up. Zeke, 28 carries, right? 105 yards. He had a tud. He got his right before Dak Prescott got his. You know what I'm saying? So we had that. But still, we were limited. All right, we were limited. Now, granted, this is a team that we should have, would have, and could have beat. All right, this is the 0-4 New York Jets, with or without Sam Darnold. We should have beat them. But the fact of the matter is, on both sides of the ball, I feel like we underperform. We underperform offensively because we were limited, but defensively, are you actually crying? Are you like this?
I'm just so emotional.
Why?
Because this limited Cowboys team that was projected to go to the Super Bowl, struggled and lost to an 0-4 team.
Yes, we did.
It's beyond me. So limited. My deepest of sympathies to a team that was so superior after week 3.
Right.
That for some apparent reason, we're missing a couple of players, and now
missing key players.
And now
key players.
They are incoherent.
Key players
on both ends of the ball.
Well, offensively, it's because of injury. Defensively, it was also because of injury because we lost our 2 starting core. We lost Anthony Brown and fucking what's son's name, Byron Jones.
When?
All right.
During?
Yes, we lost.
Oh, so did they get out of the game when they were losing with 0 points, or was it after they lost them points? Because I from what I saw, was Master Mono went down the field with ease.
Yes, he did.
And put the ball into the end zone.
Right.
Also, I saw an offense led by
Why are you talking like this?
A Dak who could not get anything done.
Well, he didn't have no.
He didn't have what? Last I checked, the elite of the elite can get it done with nobody.
Whoa, wait, hold on. Let's not say that.
So let's not say what?
What do you mean?
Let's not say. I thought Dak wants to be the highest paid quarterback.
Well, he because of the market, right? And because of what he's done. Bro, why you acting like
Dak
this?
is not on the attack.
What? All right, see, that was just corny. That was
Dak
for.
Is average.
He's okay. Well,
Dak
can't
get it done.
His offensive line. You mean
I don't want his offensive line? What? Because Deshaun Watson just went out and balled out. Not this past week, but the week before, and many of the weeks. And his offensive line is
garbage.
worse.
It's complete doo-doo.
I don't want to hear nothing.
But Deshaun Watson has DeAndre Hopkins. What you
don't want to hear it.
He got Nuke. He got Nuke or whatever the fuck his name is.
But I thought it was a big Dak. I thought it was a big Zeke.
And who's the third name? Go ahead, say his name.
A big Cool.
Yeah.
Where was Witten?
What you mean?
Nothing.
Witten slow and old. He's reliable. But he can't be your number one receiving option.
All I know is that the Cowboys went out there and they said, hey guys, you guys ready to win? And they said, we ain't dropping it. And they dropped to 0-3 since week 3.
I mean, okay, now, and then offensively, listen, defensively, we marveled at this defense all last year long, right? Because of the names. You had the linebacker core that stepped up in Evander Esch and a Jalen Smith. And then on the defensive front, we had the secondary. We had ballers on every level, essentially. And these past couple of games, I haven't been too thoroughly impressed with my defense. We just haven't looked all good, especially the pass rush, because Sam Darnold was chilling back there. There were some plays where we put a little bit of pressure on him, but for the most part, he looked comfortable that game.
Yeah, he was cooking back there.
He looked. I don't have a stat line in front, but he comfortable as fuck. So I wasn't too happy about that, right? Mm-hmm. But then you talk about play calling. For me, there were two key plays in the game, because this is, once again, a game we shoulda, woulda, coulda won. It's not like we got blown out, right? But at the same time, it's like offensively, we didn't score our first touchdown to the fourth quarter. Man, listen, and then you pair that on top of a porous defense that we had that was underperforming. I don't give a fuck if you playing against a team that's 0-4, 1-5, whatever the case may be. It's going to be hard to come out with a W when you're looking like that. So I give it to you. I'm not trying to make excuses for my team. I'm just calling it as it is, right? Play calling wise, the two plays that stuck out to me that I'm looking at, I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I think it was second quarter, 4th and 2. I think we're on the 7-yard line, right? And then score 7-3. So this is earlier on in the game. And instead of kicking a field goal, lessening the lead down to like 1 point, Jason Garrett goes for it. I think he calls like a draw play or something like that for Dak, and Dak runs it, and it's a fucking turnover on downs. And then the very next play,
Robbie
Anderson, 92 yards, bro.
Robbie,
92 yards, shitting me, right? Like the next play. So now it goes from 7-3. Mm-hmm. Now it's 14-3. Uh-huh. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'll blink. Next thing you know, we're down 21-3. And the only way we're scoring on the offensive side of the ball, field goal after field goal. I think the first one, Maher kicked like a 62-yarder, and they came back with a 30-yarder or whatever game. Mm-hmm. And then he missed like a 20 or 30 or something crazy like that. I'm looking at this team, but more so than that, it's like I'm watching these dudes play, and it's like just the sense of the energy and the effort. Everyone is kind of just standing there with their dick in their hand. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on with my team? So there was that play, right? And then the last play of the game, right? I think this was after Dak scored his rushing touchdown. Mm-hmm. Go for a 2-point conversion, right? I think 2-point conversion, tie the game. Jets blitz us, and Dak doesn't go to fucking Michael Gallup. He doesn't go to Tavon Austin. He goes to Jason Witten. I think Jason Witten ran like a check down route because he literally just ran up and just stopped it. And DB was right behind, just threw it up. No real play was set up for. Why was he the number one guy in that moment at that time? I'm looking at it and I'm like, bro, this is a game that we should have won. Albeit if we did win, it was going to be a close one. And then right after that, we did the onside kick. We should have recovered that because I don't know who got a hand on. I think it was Demaryius Thomas. He got his hands on it and dropped it, whatever case may be. I'm hurt. I'm emotional. You can talk about the game.
Dallas, their performance was a lot like that Ghostbusters reboot because it was a letdown. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
As for Jason Garrett, do you believe that he should be his cheeks, his booty cheeks,
Yes.
should be
well,
blistering?
that's a little. Why? What's you have an obsession with booties today, bro?
Should it be blistering
Okay.
on the hot seat?
Okay. Should Jason Garrett be? Yeah, most definitely. I think so. There were some reports that came out today that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones basically like denounced any idea
Yes,
that
I
he
did
was.
see that.
Yeah, you did see that, and that broke my heart. That really and truly it did broke my heart because fact of the matter is, right now we're in a situation where we've just lost 3 back-to-back games. All the games that we coulda, woulda, shoulda won, right? And we're not talking about a coach in Jason Garrett, which is like some all-time winningest coach. This is Mr. 8-8, Mr. Average himself. This man has underachieved in his entire tenure as a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I think in terms of just who's had the longest tenure of mediocrity and gotten away with it, it goes Marvin Lewis. And then like Jeff Fisher is somewhere up there.
I'd say Fisher.
Fisher
Jeff.
first? Fisher.
Yeah,
How long did he
matter
have
of
as
fact,
head
no. Because Fisher was there 99 to like 2000 something with because he made a lateral move from Tennessee to Los Angeles.
Well, St. Louis at the time.
Well, yeah, St. Louis at the time. But with Jeff Fisher, he at least in the gaps of absolute mediocrity, he had to bam, big time season, bam, big time season. So it kind of threw you off.
Right.
But with Jason Garrett, that hasn't been the case.
In terms of just like the top.
In a sense, yes.
Jeff Fisher, Marvin Lewis is definitely up there
Marvin
too.
Lewis is at the top because he ain't
He
nothing.
never,
So,
not one
yeah.
playoff victory. Nothing.
Exactly.
And then Garrett is definitely up there too.
Jeff Fisher, at least he went to a Super Bowl, but it
Most
was
definitely.
so early that kind of
over time it kind of just lost its value.
because people I don't even that wasn't this millennium. So
Right.
at that point, people started to forget.
Right, but that was with the Titans, wasn't it? Right?
Yes, it was.
Against the Rams, I think.
Against
that
the
game,
Rams,
right? 99.
yes, and Smith made the tackle on the 1
Yeah,
yard
one
line.
line. I think. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But so boom. In terms of just this man's whole career, head coaching career as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys has been nothing short of mediocrity. You understand? So now you come into a season where as you mentioned, we have all the Super Bowl hype around us on both sides of the ball. We have all the pieces that we need to get it done. And now we're looking at 0-3. We're getting ready to go. I don't know if we're playing at home or if we're playing at Philadelphia. I'm not too sure. But we play a division rival in a Philadelphia team that's also 3-3. We're on the verge right now of possibly going on a 4-game losing streak. I think there's every single reason right now for Jason Garrett to be on the hot seat. But there was something that came out. I think it was like a stat or something that up until a certain year, Dallas has only ever had 1 year where they've gone through multiple head coaches. Otherwise, they've always let the head coach finish throughout their tenure. For me, the way that I look at it is if we lose, hypothetically speaking, because I don't think it's going to happen, but if we were to lose to the Philadelphia Eagles, and that Monday, Jason Garrett is still the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, for me, they're telling Dallas Cowboys fans everywhere, hey, I think for me the season is a wash. We're gonna wait till the end of the year and then we're gonna fire Jason Garrett. Only for the simple fact that, as I said in the last episode, I don't think anyone is going to run away with this division. I think it's going to come down to the last 2 games. Do you understand what I'm saying? We can't afford to go on a 4-game losing streak. And one of those games, the last game we play, we lose to an 0-4 team. Then we come back and lose to the division rival, the only people that we're competing with in the division. We can't afford to do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you're looking at these players, you're looking at everything. You see the clip of the dudes walking off the field and Jason Garrett's like, my son. Nobody's dapping him up, nothing like. The team has completely dejected himself from this man. I don't want to see him as the head coach moving forward. I just don't.
I'll say this much. Regarding them losing 4 consecutive games, I think at this point it's not that big of a deal because the Eagles are struggling as well.
They are.
So, and also, Dallas was a 3-5 team last year.
We were.
And they turned their entire season around. So that can still happen as long as nobody, as you stated, nobody's running away with the division. So where Dallas is right now, should they be concerned? Absolutely. Should Jason Garrett be on the hot seat? Without question. However, should they all be on the let's fire everybody train? No, because until they find themselves 2 to 3 games behind the division, they can still compete. Because the team still is talented, for what it's worth. And if both teams are 3-3 and they're playing in Dallas, I might add. So even if Jason Garrett were to lose this game, it truly depends on how he loses. Because let's just say it's a back and forth game. It comes down to a Brett Maher field goal and he misses. That's not on Jason Garrett. If they put up, it's a shootout and it's some 48-45 and they lose, can you blame Jason Garrett?
True.
So it truly comes down to how they lose. This particular game, they were not prepared for the Jets.
Not at all.
The past 2 games, it seems as if they were riding off a high of starting 3-0.
Right.
So it comes down to how they lose games. So if they lose to the Philadelphia Eagles the same way they just lost to the Jets, Jason Garrett's job should be, in question to where he can get fired. But the only problem is the issue with firing coaches in the season. Who do you feel confident with replacing him with? And if you can't give a solid answer, at least as a front office, to say this person can take us to where we want to go, don't make the move. Just wait until the offseason.
Most definitely. I mean, if they were to make the move, obviously, in terms of who would move up as interim head coach, I think Kellen Moore would get the job.
Most likely.
I think me and you have talked about it off camera just in terms of who we would want, who I would think would replace him. For whatever reason, the past couple of years, Sean Payton has been a name that's been thrown out there because, people have thought about Drew Brees' retirement looming and things of that nature. But I can't see that a serious situation where something like that would happen because for me, if Sean Payton comes in, him being the kind of coach that he is versus what Jerry Jones wants in a head coach, I think it would be a similar situation as the Jimmy Johnson thing where it would just be a constant butting of heads because I want to do this and you want me to do that and I'm not going to capitulate to you and you want me to, it's just not going to happen. So I think if it was to happen, Kellen Moore would step in, and then in terms of who would be a serious candidate towards the end of the season, I've said Tony Romo. I could see something like that happen. I don't know if he'd be interested in doing it, but you know that Jerry Jones wants to clearly, given how long Jason Garrett's tenure with the head coaching, being the head coach for the team has been, he wants to hire someone that, he is his buddy, is his friend, whatever the case may be, an in-house hire, right? So it most likely would be Tony Romo. The man's familiar with the team, of course. He knows the game. I think the players would rally around him, whatever the case may be. But for me, I guess when I talk about him getting fired, I look at 2 things. I'm looking at, like I said, the overall energy and the team morale and how they're reacting to him and just how the overall effort looks on the field. You understand what I'm saying? I think they are, going back to your point, that it could be a thing of them riding off of the high of the first 3 games and then facing real competition, getting smacked like, oh, shit. And they're still kind of dazed. It could be one of those things. Or it could just be one of the things you're like, yeah, we really don't want to play for this dude. Like, he's just not it. You know what I'm saying? A lack of leadership thereof. So it's that. But then also, I'm looking at the rest of the schedule. Granted, like I said, the Eagles are struggling too. But when you look at the Cowboys schedule, I think after this after the Eagles we play the Giants, and then I think after that we play New England, or if I'm not mistaken, and then somewhere down the line I think we play the Bills as well. I think we're supposed to play the Rams. We got a couple games where I can look at them like, we can lose that game. Not that we will lose the game, but there are a couple of games on the schedule that we can lose. So for me, it's like, if the overall, I guess, vibe and energy and just chemistry that's going on right now within the locker room, especially with this man, doesn't change up, I don't know about this team, bro. I'm concerned. I love my team, but I can't get behind this guy.
I'll ask you a question about teams. What do you think about Kansas City? Do you think the fans there should be concerned after their fall to Houston? Because watching that game, it was thoroughly exciting. And there's one thing that should be pointed out. First and foremost, Tyreek Hill came back. He told one defender, hold my nuggets.
Suck my dick.
Yeah.
It was bad.
So it was bad.
You see the moss?
Yeah, it was. It was nice. He went up his shoulder pad.
And the DB caught it. He literally snatched it.
Oh, yeah.
Out of his hand. He said, give me that. I want that.
And he's 5'9". Like
Is he really?
Huh? He's like 5'9", 5'10".
I think he's like 5'10".
Yeah, like 5'9", 5'10". All I know is he was beating coverages like he beat his children.
Wow.
It was nice.
Yo, come on.
And
it's a children's show.
Hey,
this is a children's show.
Huh? So we shouldn't be talking about Tyreek Hill. So basically, he went over there 2 TDs and everything, man.
Yes, sir.
Mahomes, he had 3 TDs on the day. I think it was like 279 or 327.
273.
273 through the air. Virtually no run game. But I'll say this much. The pivotal moment, 2 pivotal moments in the game. In the second quarter, there was a situation in which it was a 4th and 1. Deshaun Watson and the Texans went from Kansas City's 40. He threw it deep to try to go into the end zone. It was intercepted by the Kansas City defense. Rather than batted down to where they can get a 1st and 10 from their own 40, they intercepted it in the end zone and got a touchback to bring it to the 20. Very next play, they fumbled. The Texans recovered. And then they ended up going into the end zone, scoring and taking the lead. Kansas City did take the lead later on. But then the Texans went on a long drive, regained the lead, and that was pretty much the game.
Right.
The lack of football IQ from that defense ultimately is what cost them.
Right.
On the ground, Carlos hide-and-seek had over 100 yards.
Yeah.
He was getting it done. Deshaun Watson through the air wasn't anything special this past game, but on the ground, he was doing dirty when they got into the red zone and found the end zone. If I'm Kansas City, I'm concerned about, 1, the run game, 2, the defense. Okay. Because if they just rely on Patrick Mahomes to bail them out, they become the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, fair enough.
And if that happens, you're going to be looking at a lot of exciting games where you put up a lot of points, but it doesn't result in playoff victories.
Okay. I'm with you on that. When you look at it right now, I have the stats in front of me. Defensively, the Kansas City Chiefs are ranked 19th against the pass and 30th against the rush. Right, so in terms of their ability to run the football, they're not all that great, but defending, of course, not all that much either. But what's kept this team afloat we saw it last year, right? Going all the way back to last year, defense was the number one question mark about this team. That was all that we talked about. We marveled then, and we still do now at the offense because of all the pieces that they have, and of course Patrick Mahomes. But defensively, they just weren't able to get it together last year. But then they acquired a Frank Clark from the Seahawks. They acquired what's son's name, Tyrann Mathieu, who we haven't really been talking about all that much this season.
Yeah, he pretty much made maybe 2 plays all year thus far.
Got you. So it's like, and for us. For me, I didn't think that it was necessarily going to turn things around, but I thought the addition of Tyrann Mathieu was definitely going to have an attitude adjustment, at least for the team. But now it's like it's the same old story. I think you can go as far. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I think they kind of look a little worse than they did last year. It's really, really bad.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I agree because they can't run the ball at the same. Bringing in Shady, I thought they would have been able to. Of course, he has to ingratiate himself into the offense, but losing Kareem Hunt truly did affect that team.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I would be concerned because they were supposed to be Super Bowl favorites, and now I can't say they are. They still have the firepower
most definitely
to contend with New England, but that defense continues to be their Achilles heel, and if they cannot consistently run the football effectively,
it's not going to happen.
It's going to be clipped when they get to the postseason.
Well, you got to think about it. Right now, the New England Patriots are 6-0. There's talks right now about they might fuck around and go 16-0. Even if they don't go 16-0, we know the fact of the matter is they're going to get a bye in the first week in the postseason because of the division that they play in. We know they're going to get the number 1 seed, right? So then basically what that means is for Kansas City, we assume that they're going to get the number 2 seed, right? They're going to play in the divisional round and then boom. As per usual, the conference championship game is going to end up in Foxborough. We're going to get a preview of that game. I think they play each other on the 8th of December.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's going to be Kansas City at Foxborough. So we're going to get a little sneak peek into it, right?
Well, not necessarily a sneak peek of the championship game because I can't necessarily say they'll be the ones who's going. I can say New England will probably be there.
Right.
But for Kansas City, there's a bit of question marks.
But hypothetically,
hypothetically.
Because the thing is, once again, we both agree the defense is horrendous, but because of how high powered that offense is with the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, one of the best tight ends in the game, now them getting a Tyreek Hill back. Damian Williams has shown flashes, right? Sean McCoy hasn't really been as effective as we would have expected to, but the fact of the matter is this offense is still, I mean, my goodness, right? But fact of the matter, I keep saying fact of the matter. I seen a comment.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stop the shit.
Yeah, somebody says,
take a shot every time Marv Glover says fact of the matter. I hate that shit. Whoever said that shit.
Hey, they caught on. You got words that you just can't move away from. Much like how I say nevertheless, so we ain't talking about that right now.
No, but
it's
your
part of my gimmick.
vocabulary is stretched. You understand?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I don't really got that. You know what I'm saying? So fact of the matter is,
you try to stretch the epidermis of your vocabulary. Enhance your lexicon.
I'm going to work on it. I'm going to start reading dictionaries and thesaurus.
You should.
And shit like that. Thesaurus.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to do them both. Why not? What's the issue? What's the problem? There you go. Yeah, but with this team, with this team, I think that right now they still because of how high powered this offense is, because you got 15 in that backfield, they still are right now Super Bowl favorites, right? They can be beat, right? I think that the Texans are, given what we saw in that game, the Texans can beat them, right? I think that another team
well, they did.
Well, they can, also in the postseason as well. Yeah. I think the Colts are also another team to pay attention to. They've been very, very impressive, and they've done it already, right? So, when we look at those two teams, those are definitely two teams that can beat them. But I'm very concerned for this Kansas City team because as high powered as that offense is, at the end of the day, when it comes into the postseason, your ability to run the football and defend is what's going to be most important when it comes down to the wire. So
now I'll ask you this regarding the two quarterbacks that did play between Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. Who would you say is ahead in the MVP race? Because as of right now, they're not even in my top 3.
Okay.
But I would say I can't say Deshaun just passed Patrick Mahomes just based on what we saw last year and the potential. I would still have Mahomes ranked higher than Deshaun.
Okay.
But if people do have Deshaun ranked higher than Mahomes, I understand.
Right. Well, it's funny enough. It's easy for you to jump and say Mahomes or thing, but when you look at the stats, they're actually pretty neck to neck just in terms of their season stat. Like what Patrick Mahomes on the season right now, 2,104 passing yards, 64% completion rate, 4 touchdowns to the 1 interception that he just threw against the Texans, and he's ranked third actually in QBR with a 76.6. Right, Deshaun Watson's right there behind him, 1,644 yards, 69% completion rate. Right, 12 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, and he's ranked right under him in QBR in terms of 75.9. So they're really neck to neck. I would have to give the edge right now to Mahomes just because within the last 3 games. I would have to give the edge right now to Deshaun Watson just because within the last 3 games for Patrick Mahomes, we've seen that his completion rate has been under 60% for all 3 of those games, back to back to back. And I don't want to say that he's been underperforming, but he hasn't looked like himself. Right now that you have people coming out and saying things like, "Well, have the NFL figured out Patrick Mahomes?" and things of that nature. But I'm gonna give it to Deshaun Watson. For me, I think you got to look at 2 things. Right, what both quarterbacks have had to play against, both quarterbacks have had to deal with, just in terms of what their team has lacked. Right, and when you look at Patrick Mahomes, it's the bad defense, right, and he has to put up crazy numbers just to keep his team afloat throughout the season. Now with the Deshaun Watson, where I give him the edge is that terrible offensive line that he's had to deal with, but his ability to continually produce week after week. The man has been sacked 18 times this season. I don't know if that's he's ranked number 1 in terms of most sacks, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say he is, because 18 times in the season, I don't know.
As a individual, I would say maybe
on the
yes,
season so far.
But
yeah.
I think the Jets have probably been the most sacked team.
I think didn't they have 10 sacks?
Yeah. Falk ended up getting sacked 10 times or 9 times.
He got abused, harassed. It was absolutely terrible. But for right now, I think I'm going to have to I would probably give the edge to Deshaun Watson, not by much, but I definitely right now I think he's ranked above him. What about you?
Okay, as I said, I'll probably just have, Mahomes slightly ranked higher.
Okay.
But if Deshaun was ranked higher as of right now, I understand. They're both right there.
It's neck to neck.
Yeah, it's neck to neck like the race in the NFC West. Woo! Like the 49ers, the Seattle Seahawks, and the not really the Los Angeles Rams anymore, pretty much. Them 49ers, they're balling, undefeated, 5-0.
I gotta ask you, man. Based on the NFC West is one of my favorite divisions to watch right now. A lot of stuff going on. I mean, outside of the Rams and fucking the Cardinals, right? Based on what you're seeing from the 49ers, them along with the Patriots, the only 2 undefeated teams left in the NFL. But we'll focus on the 49ers right now, right? How far do you think this 49ers team can go?
They can make it to a conference championship. Okay. I'm still not thinking Super Bowl yet. They've got to show me a little bit more. Okay. But they have potential to get there. That offense did not play very well this past week against the Rams. Okay. But that defense played sensational. Yeah. Where you have the Rams that score on their opening drive, and then after that, punt, turnover on downs, punt, fumble, punt, turnover on downs, turnover on downs, punt, turnover. It was just they could do nothing. Absolutely Jared nothing. Goff threw for 78 yards.
Pathetic.
And it is the San Francisco 49ers that made that happen. Right. So the way their defense is playing, the way that D-line is getting after the quarterback, the way the secondary is able to take the football away, and offensively they can run the ball. If they can get that pass game very consistent, maybe even trade to get somebody like an A.J. Green before the trade deadline, these 49ers will be cooking, man. But I think they can make it to a conference championship. They're turning me into a believer.
I 110% agree with you. I think right now, based on what we've seen, I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl, but you can put them up there as Super Bowl contenders based on what we've seen, right? You want to know who they remind me of? They remind me of their friend within the division, because right now they're a team where they have a great defense, they run the ball effectively, right, and they have a quarterback in a Jimmy Garoppolo who hasn't necessarily been stunning, but he hasn't been bad either. He's been good. He's been pretty good. Reminds you of the Legion of Boom days with Russell Wilson earlier on, where we was calling Russell Wilson the game manager, or whatever, but mainly the offense ran through Marshawn Lynch, right, and the defense you had Cam Chancellor and Bruce, all those cats, right. So it's the same thing with them. I think right now you can put them up there as Super Bowl contenders. Would I have them going to the Super Bowl? No. I think that I don't know. I think I could see them in the conference championship game. I can see them in the conference championship game. But for right now, I'm loving this team. I still think I want to wait a little bit longer down the throughout the year to see how Jimmy G performs. Like I said, he has been pretty good thus far, but down the last stretch of the season is really where we're going to see him test things out. I don't think so far this season he's thrown the ball more than 30 times or whatever, just mainly because they've been running the offense through Matt Breida, who's been sensational. But towards the end of the season is where I'm really going to be paying attention to this team. But all in all, man, I've been thoroughly impressed with him.
What do you think about the Los Angeles Rams now that they're 3-3? Atrocious performance.
Yes.
They just shipped away Marcus Peters. They brought in Jalen Ramsey.
Yes, they did.
Now, there's a lot of talks about, given how the NFC is playing, and you see the success of the NFC North and Seattle and the 49ers being neck and neck in the NFC West.
Right.
With the Rams being third in that division,
Yep.
is there a chance they're going to miss the playoffs?
Oh, no, they're missing the playoffs.
Oh, wow.
All right. It's done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, look at it like this. I think that, like you said, for when it comes down to who's going to win this division, it's obviously between the Rams and the Seahawks. I personally think that, like I said,
you mean the 49ers and Seahawks?
Sorry, my bad. The 49ers and Seahawks. I think it's going to come down. I think the Seahawks ultimately are going to win the division, like I said, because I think that last stretch of the year is going to come down to quarterback play, and I'm always put my money on Russell Wilson before put it on Jimmy G. That's just how it's going to go, right? So now, hypothetically speaking, let's say the Seattle Seahawks do win the division. I think that the 49ers are still going to continue to perform throughout the year, right? And I think that they're going to occupy one of the wild card spots going into the playoffs, meaning that and I think the other wild card spot is going to go to a team, most likely a team in the NFC North. The Los Angeles Rams are just not going to make the playoffs. It just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. They have to figure it out. They haven't been able to get together. Todd Gurley with his arthritic knees, it's been absolutely terrible. And you look at Jared Goff as well. He hasn't been performing all that well. I just can't see it happening.
I actually will agree. I'll say the Rams probably will miss the playoffs because they'll be a team that mess around and go 10-6 and just miss out on the dance. Now, because
10-6, really?
They can go 10-6. I believe that the Todd Gurley will come back. Now, will he play the same way that he did last year? Absolutely not.
No.
But I think the addition of Jalen Ramsey really does amplify that secondary. Aqib Talib has to get healthy, but I think they're going to start to orchestrate much better defensively.
Okay.
Offensively, if they can get that run game going to take some pressure off of Jared Goff, they'll be fine. But the only reason why I think they'll end up missing the playoffs is, one, Seattle and the 49ers will probably only mess around and lose 4 games collectively. I think that 12-4 is the floor for both of those teams, the way that they're playing. Okay. Now, in the NFC North, the Vikings, the Bears, the Lions, the Packers. Yeah. All 4 of these teams are playing good football. Right. The Vikings, inconsistency here offensively, but defensively they've been doing all right. All right? And now, if they can get that going, they can mess around and be a 10-6 team. The Bears, if they can figure out what the hell to do with quarterback at Chase Daniel, or maybe bring somebody else in, or figure out what time Mitch Trubisky's coming back, but that defense still is no joke, so they can fluctuate around that 10-6. The Lions, although they did just get screwed last night on Monday Night Football, they can still be a team that can mess around and go 10-6 because they've been playing good football week in, week out. And the Packers now have a defense that's come to play, and Aaron Rodgers is that bad man. So they can mess around and 10-6 be their floor. But I think they'll mess around and win 12 games at their floor. Right. So the way I see it, the Rams are pretty much going to be assed out because they've lost 3 games early. Right. Those 3 games, I believe all of them were in the NFC. I believe so. So if you have those conference losses, if they lose maybe 2 divisional games, it's clipped. Yeah. Because if they lose to the AFC opponents, they'll maybe still have a chance. But because of the schedule and how everything plays out, if everybody ends with the same record, they're the odd man out.
So now I got to ask you, because like I said, I personally believe that the Seattle Seahawks are going to be the one to win the NFC West crown. Would you agree with me? And if not, why? Who do you think?
I too share the same sentiment. Okay. I believe that the Seahawks will mess around and win. I think when they play against the 49ers, they're going to take that victory. Right. I do believe the 49ers, again, they'll be one of those teams that's 12-4 if 12-4 is their floor. But ultimately, I think the Seahawks will probably have a better record down the stretch.
Most definitely.
But they're going to be very close, neck and neck. It'll most likely be because the Seahawks either won the last game to break the tie break or beat them twice. That's why they win the division. But I just got Seattle winning. But it's very close.
It's very, very close. Yeah. But we're going to stay in the NFC. We're going to move to another division, right? One of your favorites, the NFC South. With your favorite team, the Falcons. They're in there.
A favorite.
They're in there. Your favorite team,
Falcons. I played for the Grady Falcons.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Atlanta Falcons.
All right,
you went to a school that didn't have no sports.
Let's focus.
What you talking about?
Let's focus. I was on the team in spirit. You feel me? What I'm saying?
Spirit.
It's spirit. You understand? I was there. Quarterback. I was quarterback. Wide receiver. Running back. DB. Safety. Linebacker. Waterboy. NFC South. And with a very familiar team in there. I'm talking about the Carolina Panthers, who have looked very impressive.
4 consecutive wins.
And it's been absolutely stellar. Now, the talk now has been about the timetable on Cam Newton's injury, when the man will return. I'm not necessarily sure if you have any info on that. I don't know.
When he'll return, I have absolutely no clue.
I would know.
They haven't even been talking about Cam's return after seeing. Because Kyle Allen's not even really balling like that, but he's racking up W's.
He's holding it down.
So you roll with the hot hand. Now, a lot of people are asking questions as to when Cam returns, should he resume as the starting quarterback?
Right.
Initially, I would say yes. However, if Kyle Allen just continues to win, the offense is working cohesively with him there, I would keep him there as the starting quarterback. I don't see the reason as to move him. I still love Cam. I still believe Cam is that man. But if the offense is flowing with Kyle Allen, roll with him until the train breaks.
Boom.
But if you first reach adversity and he messes around and have like a 3-interception game, or the fumble bug comes back and he just keeps putting the ball on the ground, don't yank him immediately. Let him battle that adversity for maybe 2 games. But if it becomes something of consistency, then you put Cam back in. But from where I stand right now, I'd keep Kyle Allen in.
I'm right there with you. I think that ultimately, here's the thing. There's no debate or discussion whether who's the better quarterback between Kyle Allen and Cam Newton. I'm taking Cam Newton every single day. But the fact of the matter is, this is a situation. This is a different situation. You got to understand and recognize the context of the situation. Going off of what you just said, right now they're in a situation where they're 4-game win streaks, back-to-back wins. Christian McCaffrey right now is looking like the runaway MVP for the season. The man has been playing. Except for the last game, he did.
Him and Russell Wilson.
They're up there. But even though he did, I don't want to necessarily say he went to bed, because the Tampa Bay defense is very, very good at.
They stopped him. They were the only team that really corralled him this season.
Right, and he still was able to get 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing and 1 receiving touchdown. But the fact of the matter is, right now the team has rallied around Kyle Allen, and on top of that, Christian McCaffrey, and the offense is running very cohesively through them. Cam is the better quarterback, but the fact of the matter is, we are in the business of winning football games, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right?
Absolutely.
Cam is the better quarterback, but who knows what can and will happen to the offense if right when he's healthy they just throw him back in there and yank Kyle Allen. It might mess with the chemistry. Who knows? I think that right now, and I've gone on record to say it before, I think that I know you did disagree with me. I've gone on record to say I personally believe that the Panthers should explore trying to trade Cam Newton. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I think the fact of the matter is, again, with Cam, you have to understand that this is an aging quarterback whose game is mainly based on his physical ability, right? And when it comes to his ability as a passer, there's always been questions about his ability to put the ball down the field. And when you look at all of those things, I think that even if they were to still put him in, they'd still try and run it through Christian McCaffrey. But you just don't need to put him in right now. I think even if there is a game where Kyle Allen kind of wets the bed, I think they would still give him another game to see if it would be a back-to-back type of situation. And then they would have reason to yank and be like, all right, Cam, you back in, and then things would go back to normal. But right now, I think it should just stay the way it is and continue to move forward, and that the Carolina Panthers should try and move Cam before it's too late.
I understand. Initially, I was reluctant to have a thought of Cam moving and them trading him. But if they were to go and try to explore, I get it. However, you can't necessarily do that until you figure out if Kyle Allen is that guy.
Right.
Because as far as I'm concerned, they can still contend this season in that NFC South with the Saints because they're only behind them.
Right.
And Atlanta's wet in the bed. Tampa, we'll talk about that in a minute. And the Saints are only right in front of them by a game.
Right.
So if I'm Carolina, I would keep Cam up until Kyle Allen shows me he's the guy. Or even if he's not the guy, you draft somebody or bring somebody in who will become that guy.
Most definitely.
But I'll ask you, if we're talking about yanking quarterbacks, what do you think about Jameis Winston's performance? Because I'll say this much. Okay. He had 6 turnovers, but he put the ball on the ground twice with fumbling. 5 interceptions. He fumbled twice. Yeah, he was able to recover one. Yeah. I believe the offensive line did. Whatever the case was. Yeah. With that lackluster performance that he put out, ironically, that defense still had them in a position to win because it was only 37-26.
Right.
And Jameis drove them down the field and only to throw 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter in the final 3 minutes.
Right.
And he ended up throwing 5 bad ones. He threw one directly
the first play
to Luke Kuechly. The first play,
that one was
bad
Luke
pass.
Kuechly,
Yeah,
but
Luke Kuechly was in like the second half.
one. The first one was to, I think, Bradbury or something.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah,
He threw one to, I think he threw like 3 to Bradbury. I can't remember.
don't even remember.
Whatever the case was, it was just
bad.
bad. And still, I feel as if I have belief in Jameis. I believe that Arians can turn his career around, but he's just got to make better decisions with the football. And that defense for that particular game against the Bucs, they actually came to play. And offensively, the Bucs just, or I should say, Jameis cost them. There was a situation in which he did connect with Mike Evans, or I should say should have connected with Mike Evans, and Evans' hands are just for decoration. Yeah. So he should have caught that pass. But outside of that, it's on Jameis. Do I think they should bench him?
Absolutely not.
I think they should let him ride out this season, because if you do move him, who the hell you think you're going to put up? Because Griffin, I think Ryan Griffin is the backup.
Okay.
And Ryan Griffin, he could play well. He played good in the preseason.
Right.
But I don't know if I would make that move and put him in now.
Well, I think I would if I'm Bruce Arians, I'm not yanking Jameis. I like I said in the last episode, I don't know if it was the last episode or was the episode before that. I've been thoroughly impressed with Jameis's performance after that game, the first game that he played against. I think it was against the Panthers. No, who was it? The 49ers, where he was after that game, he picked it up, right? He did a better job of protecting the football. When you look at this past game that they played against Carolina, there were a good amount of the interceptions were because of him, just bad reads and just terrible decision making. But then also, I'm watching that game closely. I mean, my goodness, that offensive line got wrecked all night long. Gerald McCoy and the crew were living in his backfield.
Oh yeah,
it was bad, man. Especially with some of the fumbles. So for me, not to try and remove any of the blame from him, because like I said, at the end of the day, you just got to do a better job protecting the football. There were some plays where he did hold on to the football for too long, but I think that they should ride it through with him. I think we've seen flashes this season, which is something that we haven't really seen the previous season with some of the other coaches he had, with the Todd Bowles and the Dirk Cutter. I like what we've seen Bruce Arians be able to do through his game. Give him some time. He played against a team in the Carolina Panthers that's hot on both sides of the ball. I want to see if something like this continues to happen for, I guess, another 1 to 2 games, because like you said, this Tampa Bucs team has been impressive. Then I guess you could consider it yank him, throwing Ryan Griffin. But other than that, I'd roll with him.
Okay, all right. Let's shift a little bit of gears.
We're not shifting gears. Yeah, we jumping across.
Yeah, are we?
Yeah. Because it's that season.
Yeah, I can't say shift gears, because if Molly Quirm is around, I lose my job. But basically, let's jump.
Oh yeah.
To that different shaped ball.
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's here. We here now.
Are we?
And NBA season. It's that reason.
Somebody is excited.
We here. You know, because I know you know about,
That's a bad form already. Your hand is just okay. Don't do that. You know, jump shot got the same accuracy as Lonzo Ball as a Laker.
Wow, that is that. Why are you disrespecting me for?
Hey man, I'm just speaking the facts.
NBA season is coming. It's here. I think. Why are you looking into the camera so grimacingly?
What you talking about?
NBA season, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's that reason. It's that time. You know what I'm saying? You an NFL guy. I'm an NBA dude. You understand? I love it. We here now. You know? Are you excited? I'm excited.
Oh, I am, because my Miami Heat got the Rookie of the Year.
Oh, Tyler Hero, he is.
Oh yeah,
that boy bad.
Oh yeah,
that boy bad.
Oh yeah,
he is. We gonna get to.
It's raining at all time because he's a walking bucket.
I told him we here now. NBA season is on the rise, and I think this is going to be one of the more exciting seasons that we've ever seen. That's in NBA history. You understand what I'm saying? But I got to ask you. We're not going to get into too many NBA topics right now, but there are a couple of teams going into the season that have a lot of eyes on them. So we're just going to do a quick run through all of them real quick just before we close this thing out. I got to ask you first and foremost about the Pelicans, right? What are your expectations for the Pelicans? More specifically, not just the team, but also Zion and the rest of their young core going into the season.
If they stay healthy, I believe they're a playoff team. I don't care what nobody says.
Okay.
Because they've got all the talent in the world.
Right.
Lonzo Ball is one hell of a facilitator when he's healthy.
Okay.
You got Josh Hart, who's there as well, and I believe he can put up some numbers. We need to figure out what the hell's going to be going on with that blood clot situation with Brandon Ingram.
Yep.
But if he could stay healthy, I expect to see him put up at least 18. And Zion coming in, he's looking like a man amongst boys, regardless of who he's playing against.
Right.
Now, granted, I'd like to see better footwork from him, but outside of that Pelicans team and Drew Holiday is still there as well. So I expect them offensively to be able to put up points and score at least 100 points a game consistently. Defensively, there are some question marks. I would hope that they'll be able to defend, but over time, we'll figure that out. Alvin Gentry will be their coach.
Yes, he will.
So I assume he'll be able to get that job done, but I expect them to be a playoff team barring injury.
I'm really excited. I think this is easily one of the top 5 teams to watch coming into the season just because of the Zion Williamson factor and just with everything else. You have Alonzo Ball who's coming from a Los Angeles Lakers team that basically said, hey, you're broken goods. We don't want you. We don't need you. And then they sent him to the New Orleans Pelicans. For me, given the new start, I got my eyes on 2 people in particular, Zion and Lonzo, because what these two are going to do for each other coming into the season, it's about to be something special. And we've seen flashes of it in the preseason. I'm trying to tell you right now, for me, I got Lonzo Ball as my number 1 candidate for most improved player. Because for me, I think his passing ability has always been his bread and butter going all the way back to college, right? There's always been questions about his shooting. His defensively, he's impressive. But now you have a guy in Lonzo who's going to have a player like a Zion Williamson, who we know his game is mainly based off of being in the open court, in transition, right? A guy like Lonzo is going to help him do some damage, man. Both of them are going to help each other hand in hand. We've seen flashes of that in the preseason, so I'm super duper excited about them. I'm not upset at you for saying that they can be a playoff team. I think the talent is there. That, for me, all falls in the hands of Alvin Gentry in terms of how he's able to corral this young group together and what kind of game plans he's going to put together for this team to perform both on the offensive and the defensive side of the ball. But I like the young group of players that they got, and even if they aren't a playoff team this year, I think that they definitely can be a force to reckon with in the years to come. From them to the Los Angeles Lakers. Thoughts, expectations on them, go.
I expect them to be an NBA Finals candidate. It'll be them or it'll be the Los Angeles Clippers. I think the Golden State Warriors will still continue to contend, but ultimately that NBA championship will be played at least 3 games in the Staples Center, whether that's the Clippers or the Lakers. I expect LeBron James to be the NBA MVP. I expect Anthony Davis to mess around and possibly be the Defensive Player of the Year. I know that Lakers team is going to be coming in hot. I believe Dwight Howard will be a candidate for the most improved player on the year as well. And I think he'll resort back to the numbers that you saw from his prime. I think it's highly plausible for him to have higher rebound numbers than he's probably ever had. They're going to have shooters around for LeBron to facilitate those balls there. And when the ball go in the air, you got people who's going to be crashing boards. So ultimately, I expect the LA Lakers to at least make an appearance to the conference finals and most likely win that NBA championship.
Listen, for this team, it's finals or bust as far as I'm concerned. I'm very excited because you have a player in LeBron James who's coming into the season with a chip on his shoulder. He heard all the talk and commotion coming into this year. You're too old. The Lakers this and that, whatever the case may be. I don't know if I'm going to go as far to say he's definitely in the top 3 in terms of MVP candidates to look into going into the season. Only thing that I'm questionable about is AD's health. I heard I didn't get a chance to read into the report, but there was an injury report that came out recently about I don't know what the fuck happened with him, but I don't think he's played a season yet in the NBA, a full season yet in the NBA.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
You understand what I'm saying? So there's questions about that. You have a LeBron who, granted, he is an athletic freak of nature, but fact of the matter is, Father Time does not. What's the word I'm looking for?
Undefeated.
Father Time is undefeated, right? So I don't care if you LeBron James, whoever the case may be, whoever you are. The man is getting older. We can't ignore that, right? His skill is undeniable. His physical ability is undeniable, but he is coming off of a groin injury that's kept him out for more games than he's ever been in his entire season. So I'm looking to see health-wise what him and AD are going to put together. But otherwise, if both of them can stay healthy, easily.
Okay, I'll ask you this. What about the Houston Rockets? Because I think the Houston Rockets can also be one of those teams that catch people off guard. I think the addition of Russell Westbrook is really going to do them a lot of wonders. I think they'll go further than well, I can't necessarily say go further than where they were last year because they lost in the the second round, but the semifinals. But I think they can make a semifinals appearance, and if people stay healthy and they play defense rather than that whole switching that they always do. If they play that man sort of defense, I think they can mess around and probably push the Lakers or the Clippers to 7 games. And hey, if they can knock down their 3-point shots, they can mess around and make a sneaky, conference finals appearance. But I got high hopes for the Rockets. I think they'll do much better than they did last year.
I think for me, the talent is there, right? But it all falls in the hands of what Mike D'Antoni does. Man was interviewed and asked recently about what his game plan is moving forward into the season with the addition of Russ Westbrook, because a lot of people were questioning, a lot of the ISO ball game planning that they had with James Harden in last season. And Man's basically was like, hey, man, you can win basketball games like this. Well, sir, you haven't really won much yet. You won in the regular season, but in the postseason really hasn't shown. So there's big question marks on that. But the talent is there. I love PJ Tucker. I think he's the emotional leader. What Draymond is for the
PJ Tucker is that for
the Houston Rockets. So I love him. Clint Capella is big too. He didn't show up all that much last year in the postseason against the Rockets. Meanwhile, he was asking for him and didn't show up. He has to show up when it matters most. But I think the addition of Russell Westbrook is only gonna make him better, depending on what Mike D'Antoni does game planning wise. So we can go from there to a team that I just mentioned, the Golden State Warriors. What are your thoughts on them coming into the season?
Well, Steph Curry, he's going to be pretty much the focal point of this team. Klay Thompson probably won't be seen until after the All-Star break.
Boom.
So the first half of the season, it is completely indicative of Steph Curry to go out there and play good basketball. Draymond Green will be doing his thing. D'Angelo Russell, that will be very interesting to see how that'll play out with him. Yeah. I'd like to see how he's ingratiated and meshing into that offense, but ultimately Steph Curry has to resort back to that 2015-2016 back-to-back MVP Steph Curry performance, virtuoso performances to keep the Golden State Warriors afloat. But they'll definitely be in the playoffs, and all they really need is an invitation to the dance, and then they'll let threes rain.
Most definitely. Listen, the team is as long as Steph Curry and Draymond Green are on that team, of course they're playoff contenders. And with the addition of a D'Angelo Russell, they are looking to move more towards small ball, evidently so. But they're still talented enough to get the job done. I still like this team to at least make it to the second round of the playoffs, and then from there is really more of a toss-up. But I love this team. Then from there we got another team also in the Cali area, the LA Clippers. Thoughts on them?
Conference final or NBA final?
There you go.
You got a Paul George, you got a Kawhi Leonard, you got a Pat Beverly. I really do like that team defensively. I think they'll be the best defensive team in the league without question.
Easy.
So if they can play ball the same way the 2004 Pistons played ball, you're looking at an NBA championship.
Boom. I love this team, definitely. As you said, easily about to be the best defensive team. A lot of people think that they're going to be the ones to win it all this season. It really depends on what we see from the Los Angeles Lakers. But they have everything from top to bottom. Best front office, one of the best head coaches in the game right now. Arguably the best player in the NBA in a Kawhi Leonard. You pair him up with a Paul George, a Pat Beverly at the top of the key. I mean, man, this team can be absolutely dangerous. And the last two, we're going to pair them together because they are the teams to beat in the Eastern Conference. The Milwaukee Bucks and the 76ers. Thoughts on both teams, and who do you think is the favorite right now to come out?
I'll say the 76ers are the favorite. You added Al Horford.
Right.
You still got Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and they do have Tobias Harris as well.
Right.
So basically, the 76ers, I believe they have the best roster in the East.
Yes.
As for the Milwaukee Bucks, this can be your conference finals matchup. But Giannis needs to develop that jump shot. Until that happens, they can only go as far as his jump shot goes.
Okay.
So if he cannot shoot the ball and he appears to be that same liability he was trying to shoot from the perimeter, the Bucks will lose in the conference finals.
Boom.
But if he develops that, I think they can mess around and shock the 76ers and go to the NBA finals. But there's a sleeper team. I'm rolling with Miami Heat. Okay. I know I may be biased, but I think they can shock everybody.
I'm not mad at it. I'm going to roll with the 76ers as the favorite. I'm going to roll with the 76ers as the favorites too. Fuck it. Ben Simmons is shown flashes. I got to see it in the regular season when it comes to the jump shot, but he's shown that he's been working on his jump shot. The same thing that we've questioned about Giannis, right? The two best players on each individual team, the number one question has been their jump shot. Now with the Bucks, I'm favoring the 76ers more, not because of that, but also because the Bucks did lose Malcolm Brogdon over the summer. I think that's bigger than most people acknowledge. He was a very big part of their team on the defensive side of the ball, and I think that they're still going to be a fairly good team defensively, but them losing him is going to hurt them more than I think a lot of people are talking about. But I love the 76ers team from top to bottom. I think Josh Richardson is sneaky good.
Absolutely.
He can be very, very effective for this team, but Joel Embiid, Al Horford, Ben Simmons with a shot? Shitting me? Oh, my goodness. 76ers for the win, but all in all, I'm looking forward to this NBA season as well as everything else there is to come. But ladies and gentlemen, that concludes episode 13 of the whole.
Pardon me. Before you do, the fact of the matter is that concludes.
The fact of the matter is that concludes episode you asked. So episode 13 of the Whole My Nuggets podcast. As usual, I'm your host with the most, Marv Glover,
and the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis.
And this is the Whole My Nuggets podcast where we talk
50% sports, 50% real shit, 100% of the time.
And if you don't like that, you can hold my nuggets.
Suck my dick.
Thank you. Good night.